After Rochdale's Labour MP Tony Lloyd died in January, a by-election has been triggered in this Labour stronghold in northwest England, where around 20% of residents are Asian and Muslim. Traditionally, Labour has been the natural political home for most British Muslims, particularly around issues around immigration, welfare and foreign policy. But since October 7th, with a Palestinian death toll of over 29,000, most of them women and children, and after it took Labour's leader Keir Starmer almost 5 months to call for a conditional humanitarian ceasefire.
An end to the fighting, not just now, not just for a pause, but permanently.
That could all change. Here in Rochdale, Gaza has now become a defining issue in this by-election.
My family, like many other kind of Pakistani Muslim or Asian families in Rochdale, but across the country as well, have supported and voted Labour over many years. That has waned. I think it waned a little bit during the Iraq War. And we saw that across the country, and it's waned in the last few months as well, and that's, I feel, is a national sentiment.
What is it about the Palestine issue that really kind of stokes so much passion within the Muslim community?
Large swathes of the Muslim community are from a Kashmiri background, so they understand living under oppression, they understand the struggle for freedom, and I think that resonates with a lot of people on the Palestine issue.
Labour Party candidate Azhar Ali, who had previously called for a ceasefire in Gaza, was suspended by Starmer after he claimed Israel allowed Hamas to commit the 7th October attacks as a pretext to invade and bomb Gaza. With no official Labour Party candidate on the ballot, George Galloway, a former Labour MP ousted from the party in 2003 for his objection to the Iraq War, who is now running for the Workers' Party of Britain, has been tipped as the bookmaker's favourite to win on 29th of February.
There are millions of people in Britain that are revolted by our country's role, first of all in the whole Palestinian tragedy in the first place, but in our government and our opposition's support for Netanyahu's genocide.
Before Ali's suspension, questions were swirling about his past as a champion for the government's controversial Prevent programme, which Amnesty International said was perpetuating Islamophobic stereotypes associating Muslims with extremism. Questions have also been raised about why Labour did not select a candidate from Rochdale.
Do we not have any professionals? Do we not have anyone of a political nature within the residents of Rochdale that are capable, that the Labour Party could have selected for this particular post as such? Why does it mean that we always have to have a third-party individual from further afield who doesn't know about the waiting list in Rochdale, who doesn't know about the regeneration of Rochdale, who doesn't know the issues of schooling and housing within Rochdale?
Ali is not the only candidate in this by-election with a questionable past. Guy Otten, who was selected as the Green Party candidate, stepped down when it emerged he had made a series of negative tweets and comments about Islam and Palestine.
How many Muslims does it take to change a life? Yeah. The answer is none, because they like to sit in the dark and blame the Jews.
Simon Danchuk, who was Rochdale's Labour MP from 2010 to 2015, who was suspended from the party for sending explicit messages to a 17-year-old girl, is standing in the by-election for Reform UK, which used to be led by Nigel Farage when it was known as the Brexit Party. Billy Howarth, the founder of Parents Against Grooming UK, is also running in a town infamously rocked by the 2012 grooming scandal, where media coverage was criticised for racialising the scandal as a Muslim grooming gang issue. Galloway has also faced his fair share of criticism for political opportunism and exploiting the Asian vote in areas like Bethnal Green and Bradford West, where he was MP, and in Manchester Gorton, where he ran in the 2017 by-election. Your critics say that you have a history of parachuting into Asian majority, Muslim majority areas and exploiting the issue of Palestine to garner votes. What would you say to them?
That's a pretty insulting question. I've been at the forefront of Palestine work in Britain for more than 50 years, 50 years. I don't parachute anywhere to talk about Palestine. I've been talking about it all of my adult life.
Galloway was also criticised for earning over £260,000 in outside earnings during his time as MP for Bradford West, mostly from paid weekly TV appearances, including for the Iranian state-owned broadcaster, Press TV, for his views on Syria and Bashar al-Assad, as well as his views on the persecution of Uyghurs in China.
The foghorns, which blared out the fake genocide of Uyghur Muslims in China.
With essentially no political alternative, Nawaz says Rochdale's Muslim community is caught between a rock and a hard place.
But what Muslims are having to do is choose who they think most represents them best on this issue, and almost go for their least worst option, if you like, from the 11 candidates. Galloway has views on the Chinese Muslims, his views in terms of Syria as well. There are a lot in the Muslim community who do not support him on those views and have challenged him. But actually what he is saying is absolutely fine. We can have disagreements on that. Let's pick that up after the election. Let's register this protest now. And I think that's what a lot of people are going for.
Still, support for Galloway is undeniably strong.
I think Rochdale, inshallah, will teach the Labour leadership a lesson in this election by voting against them, and hopefully George Galloway will pull through and show them that you have to respect people's wishes as well. You can't just steamroll them and then expect them to vote for you.
Ahead of the upcoming general election this year, a poll commissioned by the Labour Muslim Network showed a 26% drop in support of British Muslims for Labour since the last election in 2019.
He might not be a great constituent MP, probably won't be, constituency MP, but for the purposes of the community here being able to register a vote, I think that is why people are gravitating towards him.
Whichever way this by-election sways, it's clear that Labour may have already unofficially lost.
And a country that says that it's based on traditional values of freedom of choice, freedom of expression, etc.
Freedom of speech as well.
And freedom of speech especially, I would not be voting Labour because it doesn't represent those particular key principles that I was brought up in a society believing.